These products will increase in prices because of Trump's tariffs. How dare Donald J. Trump? How dare you? Cherry tomatoes, because we can't grow cherry tomatoes here, which is odd because I got lots of cherry tomato plants. Sledgehammers. Well, we already have a 25% tariff on sledgehammers. That's kind of weird. So that's kind of strange. Huh. So we already have a 25% tariff. So Trump's going to add another 10% because we can't build sledgehammers here, apparently. Avocados. So that might be one. I'm not sure how easy it is to grow avocados in the United States. My presumption is that would probably increase in price. Anything that you can't grow in the United States would increase in price, which is why you have things called reciprocity. Or even better, you say these items that we can't produce in the United States won't be subject to tariffs, which is guess what? They used to do back in the good old days when we actually had tariffs on products that were competing against domestic manufacturers. And as such, guess what? Products that weren't competing against domestic manufacturers, we did not have tariffs on. I know, it's crazy, so common sense. Oh, and guess what that did? It allowed for domestic manufacturers to what? To compete against the low-cost, cheap labor that was being basically trying to take out our businesses. I don't get how people don't get this, man. A tariff increases the prices of import goods. That doesn't mean it increases the prices of all goods. It means that domestic manufacturing has to take up the reins. We can't build sledgehammers, Josh. We can't grow cherry tomatoes, Josh. Oh my goodness. But Josh, don't you know the cost of labor to grow these products and build these products are more expensive than cheap Chinese labor? And I would say, oh man, how are you going to pick the cotton without slaves, right? How are you going to pick the cotton? How dare you? Oh, ironically too, one of the things that always cracks me up about the immigration people, they say immigration, that doesn't cause inflation, that lowers the prices. I'm like, because immigrants don't have needs. They don't need housing. They don't need food. They don't need schools or anything like that. No, they just live in the land. They live in the woods under a tent, under a lean-to, under a hooch, like we used to in the army. They don't need anything. No. You have an increased immigration. You might have a lower cost of labor, right? But what else you have? You have an increase in demand. I know, shocking, right? And that increase in demand does what? Oh, it increases inflation. So all these people say immigration will lower prices. Does it? Does it? Maybe it lowers prices of housing because you've destroyed American-grown workers, i.e. who can put roofs on their house and stuff like that. Maybe it lowers the prices of that, but does it lower the price of other goods? No, because the immigrants themselves are eating as well. This isn't rocket science, all right? So when you say, hey, we're going to restrict the price, we're going to restrict the production of cheaply produced imports so we can build back our own stuff, does that inherently increase the prices? Not necessarily. Oh, but guess what too? What happens? Oh, now you also have a working man who can afford to live in the United States because he now has a job that pays him a better wage than the cheap stuff that we're getting overseas. Crazy. And maybe not. He does a better job at manufacturing the goods. I don't know. I can't speak to that. But we know that he also has buying power. Why do you think Henry Ford wanted to make sure that every Ford employee back in the old days had enough money of labor so he could buy a Ford vehicle? Henry Ford says, I want everybody to be paid well enough so they can buy my own cars. Shocking. I know, domestic production is crazy. Does that mean tariffs will solve all problems? No, because we're human beings. Of course it doesn't. Does that mean some people, by the way, in the Wall Street Journal say, so the domestic producers, they're going to have an incentive now to raise the prices because they're being protected from imports tariffs. I thought the Wall Street Journal was for free markets. I wonder if there's another entity that might say, I'm going to undercut the prices on cherry tomatoes by the people raising their prices because there's competition. So Josh the farmer is competing against Joe the farmer. Joe the farmer raises his prices on cherry tomatoes because he's being protected by imports. Josh the farmer, who's also being protected by imports in a capitalist economy, says, hey, if Joe's going to raise the prices, I'm going to raise my prices less than he does so people buy my product. Shocking. And then freaking Susan the farmer comes along and says, I'm going to raise my prices even less than Josh does. So as competition. Oh my goodness, it's almost like the anti-tariff people are fake when it comes to free markets, is it not? Yes, it is. They just don't like the United States. They don't like having to pay They love immigration. Immigration has no balance. It's a benefit for everybody and always. It's just not. Look, dude, I love immigrants who want to come here and absolutely freaking crush. I don't want us, though, to be the freaking where everyone just dumps their crap on us and they get free money, free goods, and all this stuff. We're sitting around in Lewiston, Maine, free rent, free food, free school, while poor Mainers are freaking not paying, doesn't have enough money to pay for all this crap. Screw that. Go pound sand, Wall Street Journal. Import tariffs 100%. Get domestic production going again, and let the freaking chips fall where they may. God bless.